webcasting for a worldwide audience.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Beezer Is Back. And you're probably wondering, where's he been? I mean, I haven't been here since last Christmas. Well, it's a strange story. Somewhere in the middle of February, I fell asleep, and I didn't wake up until late October. Now, the medical people, who were wonderful, said it was a coma. But I prefer to think of it as just a long nap. Anyway, happy to be back. Happy to be full of it for Christmas. And let's kick off with my old pal, Phil Spector. Well, one of the wonderful things about being in a coma is you don't have to do any housework. You don't have to do any dusting. You don't vacuum. You don't wash. You don't even clean yourself. Which brings me to my dedication. Well, being in hospital so long, and you have to be washed. And every day, marvellous Nurse Brandy washed me from top to toe and all the bits in between. So for her courage, here's my dedication to Brandy.
I remember all my life raining down as cold as ice. Shadows of a man, a face through a window, crying in the night. As night goes into morning, just another day. Happy people pass my way. Looking in their eyes, I see a memory I never realized. You made me happy, oh Brandy. When you gave when I made you, but I sent you away, oh Brandy. When you kissed me and stopped me from shaking, and I need you today, oh Brandy. of uphill climbing, with tears are in my mind, and backhand's rhyming. Oh, Brandon, well, you came and you gave without taking, but I sent you away. Oh, Brandon, when you kissed me and stopped me from shaking, and I need you today. Oh, Brandon, oh, riding on a country bus, no one even noticed us. Yesterday's a dream, I faced the morning, crying on the breeze. The pain is calling. Oh, Brandon, when you gave and you gave without taking, but I sent you away. Oh, Brandon, when you kissed me and stopped me from shaking, and I need you today. Oh, Brandon, when you gave and you gave without taking, but I sent you away. Oh, Brandon, when you kissed me and stopped me from shaking, and I need.
Well, that's enough of my personality and my personality problems, which are not yours. And we're going to move swiftly on. And I'm now playing Random Christmas because there's been a confusion with the numbers on... look, this is after the Radio Lewes Christmas party. There's been some trouble. I'm not going to deny it. There's been some problematicals. And so, in fact, what I have before me is a list of Christmas songs, but the numbers are incorrect. So I'm just going to press number 2 and see what the hell happens.
Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. Vixen and Blixen and all his reindeers pulling on the reins. Bells are ringing, children singing, all is merry and bright. So hang your stockings and say your prayers, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight. Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. He's got a bag that's filled with toys for boys and girls again. Hear those sleigh bells jingle, jangle, oh, what a beautiful sight. So jump in bed and cover your head, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight. Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. He doesn't care if you're rich or poor, he loves you just the same. Santa Claus knows we're all God's children, that makes everything right. So fill your hearts with Christmas cheer, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight. Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. He'll come around when chimes ring out that it's Christmas morn again. Peace on earth will come to all if we just follow the light. So let's give thanks to the Lord above, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight. Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. Vixen and Blixen and all his reindeers pulling on the rein. Bells are ringing, children singing, all is merry and bright. Hang your stockings and say your prayers, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight.
That was Gene Autry, the singing cowboy, with his Christmas version, and apparently Gene Autry had the biggest pecker in Hollywood, 1956. He won the competition. Anyway, let's not forget, religion is, or should be, or perhaps is, or will be, at the heart of the Christmas celebration. Because without the Jesus principle, there would just be a happy season of the year with a tree and lights. Ha 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 ha! Sounds better to me. Anyway, let's have some stuff with Big Star about Jesus Christ, who was apparently born on Christmas Day. Lucky fellow!
Angels from the realms of glory, stars shine bright above. Royal David city was bathed in light of love. Jesus Christ was born today. Jesus Christ was born. Jesus Christ was born today. Jesus Christ was born. In love they did rejoice, fine and pure of voice, and the wrong shall fail, and the right prevail. Jesus Christ was born today. Jesus Christ was born. Jesus Christ was born today. Jesus Christ was born. We're gonna get born now.
Mecca. Not the fabled city of the Orient, of course. No, the Mecca in Slough, which we always knew as the Blue Cactus, because it had been the Blue Cactus, and then, for some reason, Mecca took it over and they took the name away, but it didn't matter to the people of Slough back in 1970, because we just knew it as the Blue Cactus, and it was there, in 1970, that I saw the Drifters, which included the legendary singer Johnny Moore, and they were absolutely marvellous. We had chicken in a basket, we had drinkies, I think I had several amarettos, and that most peculiar beer that they used to sell in the 70s. Those of you that are under 50 just won't remember, but we do. And anyway, I always thought it was funny that so many Afro-American pop groups record White Christmas. But I think the Drifters version is simply the best.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where those treetops listen and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. But then I am dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write.
where the treetops listen and listen to hear flavors in the snow. Yeah, 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 I'm dreaming of a white Christmas with every Christmas card I write.
May those days, may your days, may your days be merry and bright. And may all your Christmases be white. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Ooh.
As many of you will know, I've spent most of my working life as a chauffeur. And speaking of Christmas faux pas, which I'm about to, it's 2003. I remember it clearly. We'd come back from Los Angeles, and I was doing pickup work. I got a job which was rather exciting, of course. It was for Sir Paul McCartney, to drive him back from Somerset to his mansion in Essex. And I was thrilled, as you could imagine. And I will say this. Paul McCartney has a very big head. And I don't mean that in a character sense. I mean it in a physical sense. In other words, his head is rather large. I've driven a lot of stars, especially a lot of television stars and people who, in the cinema world. I've noticed almost invariably their head is too large for their body, which I think accounts for a large slice of their popularity. They look marvellous on film with this big head. In real life, well, of course, it just looks like someone with a big head. Debbie Harry, for instance, whose head is just unfeasibly large for a small woman. But back to my faux pas story. So, I pick him up at this chap's house in Somerset, and at the time, Sir Paul's partner was the lovely Heather Mills. Charming woman also, although I didn't speak to her very much. And a fellow out on the lawn was saying goodbye to them, and they got in the Daimler, and we drove a little way, and I did say to Sir Paul, I recognise that chap. And Sir Paul said, yes, he's Andy Fairweatherlow, a marvellous guitar player and singer, and we've been staying with him for the weekend, and now we're going home for Christmas. And the conversation moved on to other things, but it bothered me. I was thinking, Andy Fairweatherlow, I should know who it is. I was thinking, I'm sure that fellow had a big hit, but I couldn't remember it. And, we'd gone a little way, and Heather Mills fell asleep on Paul's shoulder, which was rather charming, and I didn't play any music. I didn't try and chat anymore. I just drove, and professional, I thought. But something in the back of my mind was just niggling and worrying and scratching. Andy Fairweatherlow. Anyway, a couple of hours later, actually probably more, Somerset, probably about 3 hours and 15 minutes in those days with the road. And I pulled into the driveway, and Heather woke up, and Sir Paul said, thank you very much. And it just came into my mind, and I couldn't resist it. And I remembered that Andy Fairweatherlow had a #1 hit record, and I said the words, wide-eyed and legless.
Yes, I will now. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Yes, I will now. If you come on to me, then I'll come on to you. If you come on to me, then I'll come on to you.
Now, you may say to yourself, why didn't Beezer play Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul McCartney? Are you mad? It's the most horrible Christmas record of all time with that terrible, fudgy-wudgy old synthesizer sound. I mean, I like Paul McCartney, but Sir Paul, as I call him, as you know. But when it comes to synthesizer sounds, well, it's just dreadful. It's not a patch on any of the great German electro outfits. So that's that. Anyway, speaking of Santa Claus, which I wasn't, I had a funny dream about him the other night. It was a sinister, really. He was covered in cobwebs. He had a third eye, and he was kissing an alien. Well, some sort of alien.
Now, baby doll, sweet pie, sugar plum, honey bun, angel face, you know you better be good. And act like a true fine love should. Be careful what you say and do, 'cause Santa Claus is watching you. He's everywhere, he's everywhere. You better kiss me and hold me tight, and give me good loving every night. Santa Claus is watching you. He's everywhere, he's everywhere. Well, you may think you can sneak around and get away with something, but there ain't no way. 'Cause Santa's no fool, he's real super cool. He's the secret head of CIA. East, ass, and crime don't pay. You can't do nothing 'cause you're never alone. He's even got a white tap on your phone. So, baby, if you ever do me wrong, break my heart and leave me alone. When Christmas comes, you'll be crying too, 'cause Santa Claus is watching you. He's everywhere, he's everywhere. Well, every Christmas Eve, he'd climb on his sled full of toys with the dual exhaust, side mirrors, the foxtails, mud flaps, and leopard skin seat covers, and spread Christmas cheer to all good little girls and boys. And it's their own Dasher, Dancer, and Prancer, and Vixen, Comet, and Cupid, and Donner, and Blitzen, and Bruce, and Marvin, and Leon, and Cletus, and George, and Bill, and Slick, and Do-Right, Fred, and Ace, and Clyde, and Blackie, and and Prince, and Spot, and Rover. So, well, Rudolph, say he's on a stake out at your house. You can run, you can hide, but you can't get away. Got binoculars focused on you every day. So, baby, if you ever do me wrong, break my heart and leave me alone. When Christmas comes, you'll be crying too, 'cause Santa Claus is watching you. He's everywhere, he's everywhere. Yes, Santa Claus is watching you. He's everywhere, Lord have mercy. Santa Claus has got his eyes all over you, baby. It's over for you. You better watch out. Woo! Look out there. Santa Claus is peeping around the corner at you. You're in deep trouble, you know that? It's over for your kind. You go sneaking around here, you ain't gonna get away with it. You understand? I mean, you got to be true blue through and through, 'cause Santa's gonna get you.
Santa Claus, Christmas, Scrooge. I thought at this point I might update the old Scroogey story for you. We'll see how it goes. I mean, it might go well. In this version, Ebenezer Scrooge, played by himself, is an estate agent, mean and not very nice to his employees. And he employs a man called Robert Cratchit, whose wife is called Cornucopia Cratchit, and they have the son Tiny Tim, who plays with his little games all the time. And anyway, it comes to Christmas Eve, and Robert Cratchit is expecting a substantial bonus because he's been working his absolute bollocks off all year. And in it, in the note, with a little tiny little Christmas card, is £5 bloody. That's all Scrooge gives him. And Robert just leaves, and Scrooge is enjoying the moment. And he goes home to his huge mansion, which has hardly got any furniture in it at all, because he can't be bothered to buy it. And he sits there, and he has a little drink. He only drinks once a year on Christmas Eve. And he has a port mixed with stout, mixed with, I think, a little whiskey in there. Perhaps some eggnog? I don't know. Anyway, it was a powerful sort of a drink. And he fell into a sleep or a reverie, as I now call them. And, well, the next thing he knows, Bob Marley's ghost is there, sitting on the settee, playing Redemption Song. And Bob Marley's ghost says to him, in a Jamaican accent, which I'm not going to do, you'll be relieved to know, "You've been a bad fellow in all many ways, and now you have to smoke this ceremonial type Christmas joint with me." And because it has the dream logic, Scroogey takes a few tokes. Well, that's it. He's off already into another world. And Bob Marley challenges him to an eye-and-eye contest, which turns out to be a sort of staring thing. And they just sit there staring at each other in a stoned way. And then Bob Marley sort of fades off. And a purple mist descends. And when it lifts, there's a tiny little frog with a top hat on the settee. And the frog says, "Well, I'm the ghost of Christmas past, and I'm going to show you a film about what you were like before." And he looks remarkably like Kermit, this frog. And he rolls this magic lantern show, and on it, Scrooge, as a young man, is getting about the place. It's lovely. He's dancing with women, and he's jolly, and he's buying rounds of drinks. And then Kermit says to him, "Well, look, you see, that's what you were like." And Scrooge says, "Yes, but you're just a muppet with somebody's hand up your bum." And as he says those magic words, Kermit disappears. Well, the purple mist descends again. And when it comes back, there's a young man who looks like Keith Flint from The Prodigy, who has passed away recently. And it ties in with the ghost theme of the whole thing. And the ghost of Christmas present says, "Well, you're a mean man now, and you won't do anything nice, and you won't even spring for Netflix. You're having to watch Top Gear over and over and over and over again on Freeview." And it's very poor. And did you know that Boris Johnson is a woman? And the purple mist descends again. And then turns up the ghost of Christmas future. which looks a bit like Bill Murray and has an American accent, but I'm not going to do that either. And he says, look at this film. This is what you could be doing. You could be receiving an award from Greta Thunberg, or whatever she is, about wonderful things that you did for the environment. You could be building rubber houses that move. You could invent cardboard trousers. If only you'd just swing forward and be more generous. And the purple mist descends again. And the next thing is, it's Christmas morning. And Scrooge is absolutely, it feels like a changed man, and raids his little store of money, and he gets out a couple of £100. And he sets off to the butcher's to buy a Christmas turkey, which is just a joke because nobody's open on Christmas Day and there aren't any butchers anyway. So he breaks into Tesco and steals a huge, huge turkey, which he takes to the house of Monsieur Robert Cratchit. And he knocks on the door, and Robert, look on his face, Scrooge, what is he doing here this morning and everything? And invited in anyway. And Scrooge says, I've bought you this huge turkey and a Christmas bonus. And Robert says, I'm sorry, we've gone vegan, and I've got a better job working for Amazon.
Santa Claus is coming in a boogie-woogie choo-choo train. Train, 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 train.
Look out.
Checking all around the world, wants to know what's going on with every single boy and girl. Said, great gosh almighty, much to my surprise, nobody's been naughty, everybody's been nice. Now Santa likes to boogie, Santa likes to dance, Santa likes to rock it, likes to go real fast. Santa likes to ride in the boogie-woogie choo-choo train. Santa's got the elves working overtime. He's doubled up production on the toy production line. Says too much stuff this year to carry in the sleigh. Got to get a better plan, got to find a better way. We got toys for the boys and girls all over the place. Got them stacked to the ceiling, got them sticking in your face. He says that this year we're gonna take the boogie-woogie choo-choo train. Santa Claus is coming. Santa Claus is coming. Santa Claus is coming in a boogie-woogie choo-choo train. We got the toys for the boys and girls all over the place. Got them stacked to the ceiling, got them sticking in your face. Santa Claus is coming in a boogie-woogie choo-choo train. Choo-choo train. Oh, yeah.
Well, there we go. That was the Tractors. It was rather nice, but it's one of those songs that just goes on and round and round and doing the same thing over again. So, anyway, speaking of being stoned at Christmas, as we were not long ago, here is somebody with a stoned at Christmas song. Ha!
I'll be stoned for Christmas. You can plan on me. I must insist on martinis by the tree. Christmas Eve, you'll find me sparking up some green. Rolling bones for Christmas, dear, and sipping Irish cream. Oh yeah.
Yes, well, that's a novelty record. And I'm afraid for me the novelty's worn off.
Hang on, mistletoe, I'm gonna get to know you better. This Christmas, and as we trim the tree, how much fun it's gonna be together. This Christmas, firesides blazing bright. We're caroling through the night, and this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me. Presents and cards are here. My world is filled with cheer and you. This Christmas, and as I look around, your eyes outshine the town again. This Christmas, firesides blazing bright. We're caroling through the night, and this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me. Yeah. Shake a hand, shake a hand. The fireside is blazing bright. We're caroling through the night, and this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me. Yeah. Merry Christmas. Shake a hand, shake a hand. Wish you brother Merry Christmas. All over the
That's lovely. I love that record. That's one of my favorite. It's not my favorite Christmas song, which we will be closing with, but it's certainly in my top three. I do love that. Ben, is it a bit parky in here? Are we freezing? Are there icicles on our noses? No. None of this is true? No. You're wrong.
I really can't
But
stay.
baby, it's cold outside.
I've got to go away.
But baby, it's cold outside.
This evening has
Been hoping that you'd drop
so
in.
very nice.
I'll hold your hands. They're just like
My
ice.
mother will stay. start to
Beautiful,
worry.
what's your
And
hurry?
Father will be pacing the floor.
Listen to the fireplace
So
roar.
really I'd better scurry.
Beautiful, please don't
Or
hurry.
maybe just a half a drink
Put
more.
some records on while I
The neighbors might think,
Baby, it's bad out there.
say, what's in this
No
drink?
cabs to be had out there.
I wish I knew
Your
how
eyes are like starlight
to
now.
break the spell.
I'll take your hat. Your hair looks
I
swell.
ought to say no, no,
Mind
no,
if
sir.
I'm moving
At least
closer?
I'm gonna say that I tried.
What's the sense of hurting my
I
pride?
really can't stay.
Baby, don't hold out.
Ah,
Baby,
but it's cold outside. I simply must
But
go.
baby, it's cold outside.
The answer
But
is no.
baby, it's cold outside.
This welcome
How
has been
lucky that you dropped
so
in.
nice and warm.
Look out the window at that storm.
My sister will be suspicious.
Gosh, your lips look delicious.
My brother will be there at the
Waves
door.
upon a tropical shore.
My maiden aunt's mind is
Ooh,
vicious.
your lips are
Well,
delicious.
maybe just a cigarette more.
Never such a blizzard before.
I've got to get
But
home.
baby, you freeze out there.
Say, lend me a
It's
coat.
up to your knees out there.
You've really been
I
grand.
thrill when you touch my
But
hand.
don't you see?
How can you do this thing to me?
There's bound to be talk tomorrow.
Think of my lifelong
At
sorrow.
least there will be plenty implied.
If you caught pneumonia and
I really
died,
can't
get
stay.
over that old doubt.
Ah, but
Baby,
it's cold outside.
That reminds me, I must pay the council tax. It's lovely to be in a lovely warm house at Christmas, not outside, where, as Johnny Mercer and that lovely woman, I don't know who it is, I don't know who that was, but this lovely woman, it's a lovely thing. And as they point out, come Christmas time, certainly in this country, you want to be inside. I did spend a Christmas in Melbourne, and there that was you'll be amazed to know, Christmas time in Australia, the weather's quite different. It was so lovely and sunny, and I had fish and chips on the beach. Christmas, different everywhere you go. I suppose they every Christmas in Bruce Springsteen's house, all his little kiddies and his grandchildren, his relatives and his cousins from Nebraska or wherever the hell he comes from, they all have to sit. It's probably an enormous house. He's got a lot of money, Bruce Springsteen. He's not short of a penny, I'll tell you, or a cent, as the Americans say. And they all have to sit round in a big row. There's about 87 of them, but he's got a ballroom big enough to fit them all in, and he sings to them this song.
It's all cold down along the beach. And the wind's whipping down the boardwalk. Hey, man! Hey, man! You guys know what time of year it is? What time? What? Oh, Christmas time. You guys all been good and practicing real hard? Yeah? Clients, you've been rehearsing real hard now. So Santa, bring you a new saxophone, right? Everybody out there been good or what? Oh, that's not many. You guys in trouble out here. Yeah, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list, he's checking it twice. He's gonna find out He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. You better be good for goodness sake. You better watch out. You better not try. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa, yeah, Claus is coming to town. Santa 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 Claus is
Yes. I made the end of that with my sound effects machine. Actually, it's not my sound effects machine. It was loaned to me. It's the house sound effects machine for King Mob. That's another one. And but yes, I'm not finished with novelty. We're still Christmasing, and we're still noveltying. And yes, it's Elmo. Ha! Elmo and Patsy, and this song is called, hang on a minute. I've had a bit of a, oh, I see. Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer, walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe. She'd been drinking too much eggnog, and we begged her not to go, but she forgot her medication, and she staggered out the door into the snow. When we found her Christmas morning at the scene of the attack, she had hoof prints on her forehead and incriminating claws marks on her back. Grandma got run over by a reindeer, walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe. Now we're all so proud of Grandpa. He's been taking this so well. See him in there watching football, drinking beer and playing cards with Cousin Mel. It's not Christmas without Grandma. All the family's dressed in black, and we just can't help but wonder, should we open up her gifts or send them back? Send them back. Grandma got run over by a reindeer, walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe. Now
Yes, well, again, the novelty, well, it's the novelty is brief, but perhaps novelty is where we're going. Now that we're approaching the 2020, 2020, and where everything is going to be quite different. Of course, at my stage in life, It doesn't make any bloody difference at all. They change everything almost weekly now. Well, they talk about the future and then the environmental and this one, but I'm nearly dead. What does it matter to me? They can go on and on about the world that they want to make for these people. It's not me, is it? I'll be bloody dead. Spend my whole life driving bloody people about in cars. And then they're falling into a coma. I moved to Berlin and my love life is disastrous. Anyway, I'm going to finish on a happier note with my favourite Christmas song. And I know it's yours too. And if it isn't, I'll keep playing it till it is. So... Merry bloody Christmas from Beezer, and I may see you again, or I may not. It doesn't really matter, does it?
Faces. I'm driving home for Christmas, yeah. Well, I'm moving down that line, and it's been so long, but I will be there. I sing this song to pass the time away, driving in my car. Driving home for Christmas. It's gonna take some time, but I'll get there. Top to toe in tailbacks. Oh, I got red lights all around. But soon there'll be a freeway, yeah. Get my feet on holy ground. Driving home for Christmas. Driving home for Christmas with 1,000 memories. I take a look at the driver next to me. He's just the same. Just the same.
Radio Lewes. Local community webcasting.